The universe is not only stranger than we imagine, it's stranger than we can imagine. That's by J.B.S. Haldane or Werner Heisenberg. There is a theory which states that if ever anyone discovers exactly what the universe is for and why it is here, it will instantly disappear and be replaced by something even more bizarre and inexplicable. There is another theory which states that this has already happened. That's by Douglas Adams. Those are our quotes of the day, and this is Exus The Podquest.
This show is for seekers. We are seeking answers to the fundamental questions of existence. Questions such as, how did the universe get started? What's the meaning of life? Why is there something rather than nothing? And most importantly, how can we fix the dying problem?
All right, welcome to Exus The Podquest. Today we are going to be seeking answers to whether there are answers, and kind of picking up on one of the shows we did recently about science needing a win, and that that we just don't know a lot of things and whatnot. Kind of picking up on that thread a little bit and seeing where it takes us. The quotes of the day are kind of jump off points for this because they really are suggesting that even if there are answers, we're never going to get them. We're just not going to do it. It's not only stranger than we can. The universe not only stranger than we can imagine, but stranger than we can imagine. So it's kind of, and again, it's weird. I love both of these quotes so much. Love them, but at the same time, I have issues with them because they do suggest that these answers are outside of our ability to get and to find. And so, kind of winding back all the way to the beginning of this show, not today, but like the Exus The Podquest show altogether, it's the show is all about finding answers to the great questions that are out there. And I started the show, in part, at least, in a large part, in order to fill the gaps of my knowledge about these subjects, about these fundamental issues. And, at the point I started, I was certainly humble about it. I was trying to piece together everything, and I knew I'm not going to have all the answers. There's no doubt. So that's why I'm going to interview all these experts and bring people in and find the answers. And as I've gone along, and we've done that, it's been amazing. I just love it. But I do also find the gaps in my knowledge, instead of filling them in so much, there are some fill-ins here and there, but then there's also larger gaps. The gaps are getting larger. And so that kind of drew me to these quotes that I love so much, despite their negativity, it seems. And not even negativity. It's more like a statement that something is outside of our ability, rather than it's like a slam against humans. It just is what it is. But and again, I love Douglas Adams. I love the universe stranger than we can imagine quote. But it throws me also because in this quest that I have, PodQuest, that I have to find these answers and to lead to the ultimate, this ultimate, resolution, if you will. And maybe that's an evolving process, etc. It's these things are a little throw me for a little bit of a loss. So, looking at it, the question really is, are we equipped? I mean, I guess that's ultimately the question, is, are human beings equipped to be able to find the fundamental answers to the universe? And, again, the quote suggests no, maybe not, and even if we do, something else is going to replace that, which is a really cool concept, but, again, negative. And my thinking on that is that, I think, yeah, we are going to be able to do that. And it's certainly not going to be, in my lifetime or in your lifetime. We're not going to find all these answers until, for quite a long time. Now, some people, of course, are going to say, yeah, we already have the answers to everything, and it's in the religious context or the spiritual context. And what let's assume that they're right. Well, if that's the case, then I guess my whole effort here is actually not. It wouldn't be. I think about it. It really wouldn't be a complete waste of time. If the religious position, if the spiritual position is all the answers are right there, we can just look at it. Why are you looking elsewhere? Those are the answers. That's it. Well, the journey towards finding other other parts of it would still be, I think, very valuable. And although ultimately maybe unsatisfactory because the answers would already be there. So I don't know, but I'm not exactly sure about that. But the idea is, well, okay, well, we just don't know. We don't know. Even if the religious folks have it right, even if the spiritual people have it dead on, I mean, it's exactly what it is. There's this spiritual force. It created everything. Here we are. We're part of that, or we're made from it, or made by it, whatever it might be. All of those things, we're going to end up, either dying and becoming part of that, or we're going to die and go and live in heaven with God, or whatnot. They could very well be. Let's assume that that's the case. Well, then, yeah, then maybe the whole Exus project is in trouble. But let's say it isn't right, okay, or let's say we don't know. That's probably even a better answer for right now. Let's put that to say, we don't know if that's right. So if we don't know that's right, and we're just going to say and there's really no way, the only way we would really know if that's right is to find a second way of confirming that it's right, or maybe a third way, which is to build the answers ourselves, and maybe that's what it's all about. So we got a lot of different avenues to go through. It's not just that. So yeah, it's this whole complexity, this whole you can go down a rabbit hole. I think on the last episode, I said it's turtles all the way down, which is a really, maybe another part of this whole concept where, layer after layer after layer, there's just an infinite number of layers, and you're like, I don't think that's the case. I think the answers are definitely there, and that we can find them. But there's a shifting landscape as you go forward. You find more things that are changing this way, changing that way, and that's where you do wonder, is Douglas Adams got it right? But and maybe it's a little discouraging here and there. But I don't want to be discouraged, and I don't want if you're out there, you're also thinking that there's these there's got to be some bottom line here. I think that because we are if nothing else, from the religious point of view, the spiritual point of view, even the scientific point of view, there seems to be at least one point of agreement, and that is that it should be at least that the human experience, the human body, the human mind, our being, if you will, is part of the existence, part of reality. Some people will say, well, that's not true. It's part of we have a simulated experience. Okay, all right, that could be, but if we put that out to the side, and we're going to deal with that in another episode, or whatnot, or that we are we're just a fluke, we're a dream in some other being's imagination, or a cell within the body of another. Okay, those are possibilities, but if you strip away those kind of extremes, which again might or might not be true, but let's just put those to the side. The general idea here is that I think we can kind of at least get some general agreement that the human experience is part of the overall universal experience. And if that's the case, a quote that I usually do refer to a lot by Albert Einstein might be an antidote of some sort to these other quotes that, again, I'm not saying I like it better. I do like it better from its don't you like how I contradict myself all the time? But I do like it better from its positive perspective, but I still think the other ones are really neat. But I do like this, and that is by Albert Einstein, and he says that the most incomprehensible thing about the universe is that it's comprehensible. And that's a very, very compelling idea. And if you look at it, you say, yeah, you know what, it's comprehensible. How can that be? If you... And the answer is certainly way beyond my ability to elucidate, and even to understand probably, but at least a part of it is that we are part of the universe. We're part of existence and reality. So therefore, it's not terribly surprising that we are going to be able to understand it and be able to comprehend it, and then figure out its various intricacies to come to some conclusions, and then maybe, perhaps, at some point, probably, in my view, yes, we will find out those answers, the big answers to the big questions. And some people would then push back. Again, this is where it gets all these different layers and angles. Some people would say, oh, well, we don't want to know. those answers. Why would you even want to know that? Because, once you do, then everything is, boring thereafter or whatnot. What if you find it's this really, boring, this very commonplace kind of an answer? Well, all right, so be it. I'm willing to take that risk. Okay. I mean, I just am. I think that, if the answers are out there, then maybe the questions start to become more interesting along the way. I don't know, something like that. Or maybe that just sounds good and it doesn't mean anything. There's always that possibility. Um, anyway, that's really what I wanted to say today. I know it's a scrambled mess, but it doesn't really matter. I think the point comes across. I don't think we give up looking for answers to things, and no, I'm not suggesting anyone really is, but but some of these quotes out there, a lot of the people I talk to, again, many of the people I talk to, aren't really giving up, but they just really didn't start. They're like, well, why are you so interested in that? And I've said this on the show before. Why are you so interested in these fundamental, ideas and stuff when we're really never going to know? And what does it matter? Just go out, enjoy your life, have a turkey Reuben. It's my favorite. Have a turkey Reuben, enjoy yourself. Just sit back and watch some TV and do that, all that. Well, no, I mean that, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's great, but I don't want to do it. I want to focus on these issues. This is just something that, again, it's been something that, compels me forward, ever forward, to look at and to search for. Everyone loves a mystery, right? I love a mystery. And so I'm determined to continue, obviously at every point, looking for these, avenues towards answers. And if in fact, the answer is that it's stranger than we can imagine, and I'm just never going to get there because we just don't have the capacity. Fine, so be it. At least the journey is a fantastic one. And then, again, and maybe even worse, if we do find the answers and Douglas Adams is right, and we get replaced, the universe gets replaced by something automatically that's even more bizarre and more inexplicable, well, then maybe the journey continues rather than just it ends. So I don't know. Anyway, throwing all that out just for kind of a reflective kind of a thing about the show. Let me know what you think about it. Go to exusthepodquest.com. Let me know your thoughts. Right there, there's comments. And then also YouTube, of course, comment section there, wide open. Before you do that, click like. Share this video. Get your 10. Bring 10 people to the show that never heard of it before. Make them become subscribers. Force them to do it if you have to. Make sure that so that the show will grow. Also, your comments there would be fantastic. You guys do all of those things. Go all those places, and we will be going ever forward.